Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm gonna do a tutorial using these two palettes here. I mentioned these in my favorites video. If you would like to see that video, I will link it below. But I posted a picture on Instagram too, and a few of you guys wanted to see a tutorial on it. So that's what I am going to do today. I'm gonna recreate that look and I'm gonna try to use, I'm going to use all the products that I mentioned in that picture too. So let's get right into the tutorial. So I'll moisturize my face using this Murad moisturizer that I mentioned in my favorites video. Next, I'm going to use this Josie Maran foundation and I'm going to apply it using my Real Techniques brush. So sometimes I put little dots on my face first and then I start applying it, but honestly, both ways will work. Right now I'm just picking it up with what's on the back of my hand. I'm putting it all over my face. I'm also going to go ahead and put it all over my eyelid and all of that. I really like how I can use this foundation with a brush and also the beauty sponge, either this one or the beauty blender, and it looks nice both ways. Today I am going to be setting it. Sometimes I don't set this foundation just to have like a very dewy finish, but I don't want a dewy finish today, or at least not much. And I'm also going to drag this down a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit more foundation. And I'm going to put it, I always put it on my neck, but I think I need to get it a little bit lower just because if you look at my chest, it's very white compared to my arms, and so I want to make sure that everything matches. Next, I'm going to use my Rimmel Match Perfection concealer, and I'm going to go ahead and put that so that way I can conceal but also brighten. I also want to make sure that I get it in the corner because the corner of my eyes is pretty dark. So just want to make sure that that covers it up a little bit. And the concealer doesn't give me like a full coverage, but once I set it and I do the baking, because today I'm going to do the baking, I get a little bit more coverage from it. So using a loose powder in my brush, I'm just going to set everything where I'm not going to bake. I'm going to take my damp beauty sponge and put it in the powder. So I'm going to do the contour cleanup once I put my contour, my bronzer, and all of that. So now I'm going to move on to the eyes, and I'm going to do my eyebrows using my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, this one, and I'm going to outline my eyebrows and fill it in using my NYC powder. And now I'm just going to clean up my brows. So now I'm going to use my eyeshadow base and apply it all over my eyelid because you want to make sure that you have something so your eyeshadows can stick. And not only just stick, but like last all day. And I told you guys about my eyebrows in my favorites video of how I'm liking just outlining them and filling them in. If you've tried that and you like that, let me know. Go ahead and leave the powder on there because I mean you can leave baking powder as long as you want. And while I'm waiting for that, I'm just gonna begin with the eyeshadow. So I'm gonna set my primer using the color Buttery, which is just a yellowy eyeshadow. And this one, by the way, is the self-made palette, but they do have, or she does have, pink champagne and another palette. I don't remember what it's called. I do have it, but this is the one that I'm using today. So for my crease, I'm gonna use the color Dusty Rose. And using a fluffy brush, I'm just gonna blend that out a little bit more. Now I'm gonna use the color Aubergine. I think that's how you pronounce it. But I'm gonna use that in the crease area. And I think I just applied way too much. I don't know what happened there. But either way, you could just blend it out. And I'm using this very small brush. So obviously you can use one that's not as, or that's fluffier. I'm also gonna get it on the corner of my eye, so like on the outer V of my eye. And just blend that towards the inner part. Don't worry if it gets a little bit on your eyelid because we're gonna be applying the glitter shade and it'll blend in nicely. So taking this brush again, I'm just gonna blend that out. So now that I have that done, I'm going to apply my Too Faced glitter glue. Now you can use whatever primer you want, but I do recommend using something that'll help the glitter stay or show up a little bit more. And I'm gonna apply that with my finger. Alright, so now that that's nice and tacky, I'm gonna use the color Pink Champagne and apply it with this fluffy brush. Now whenever you first pick it up, you won't see a lot, and you can tell that it's a little flaky or that it'll fall out. But since you have a primer on, especially if it's this glitter glue, it'll stick on really, really good. And it'll just look really metallic. You see how that looks? And I'm applying it on the top of where I have the dark eyeshadow, and you can see that it just blends in nicely with that. And I'm also gonna go over it again with the dark eyeshadow, so just to create a little bit more of a darker look on the outside, or darker effect on the outside. And I'm gonna take my little brush again and use the darker color again, the Aubergine color. Now just blending all of that out. The next color that I'm going to use is Buttery. Again, that's the same color that I used to set my eyeshadow primer, but I'm going to apply that on the brow bone to highlight. But notice that I'm putting on a lot. And the reason why I like to apply a lot on the brow bone is just to kind of bake it, just to make sure that it looks bright enough there for me. And now I'm just taking it off with the fluffy brush. Moving on to eyeliner, I'm going to use my NYX Wonder Pencil on my waterline. So now I'm going to take off the powder that I have on my face. And I'm going to do a thick wing. So I realized I hadn't taken off the powder on my forehead, and I went ahead and I did that. So now I'm going to continue with my wing. Okay, so now for my lower lash line, I'm going to use Dusty Rose all on the bottom, and then I'm going to use the darker color on the outer part of my eyes. And using the same brush that I was using earlier, the tiny one by e.l.f., I'm going to apply the darker shade on the outer part. And I'm going to just blend that towards the inner part of my eye. So now just using a cleaner brush, I'm going to blend that out. For the inner corners, I'm going to go back to the Self-Made palette and use the color Treasure. And I'm going to apply that on the inner corner of my eyes. Next, I'm just going to apply a little bit of mascara and also put on my falsies. And I'm going to be using my brand new glue, and it's the Duo Glue. And I got it in the color black this time because I wasn't liking how sometimes the glue would dry and it would still look just a little bit white, or like a shiny white, if you know what I'm talking about. So moving on to the rest of my face, I am going to do a little bit of contouring using the LORAC palette and my LORAC brush that comes with this palette. The blush that I'm going to use today is this one by LORAC. It's also one of the products that I showed you in my favorites video. And it's called Soul. And I'm going to clean up the contour area now using again the Real Techniques sponge. And I'm gonna just take this off. I don't need to leave it for a long time. And I'm gonna use my highlighters from the Becca Afterglow palette, and I'm gonna use these two. These are the ones that I love to use together. I just mix them up and use them. I have my brushes back here so I can't see. And I like to apply a little bit of this NYX matte finish spray just because I don't have any other spray, but I feel like it gets the job done a little bit, kind of. I've never used another spray before, so, but I feel like at least something will give it some, I don't know, like some way to stick. And I'm just blending it out with the same brush that I was using earlier. So that day I was using two lipsticks, and they were both by NYX. They were the NYX Liquid Suede. I know, I use these all the time. So I was using Soft Spoken on the outer part of my lips, and I was using Sandstorm. I don't know how I don't have these memorized already. Sandstorm on the inner part. And then just to blend it a little bit more, I apply the dark one again, but there you can see, and it doesn't make like a big difference, but I feel like it's enough and it looks really nice. So this is the complete look. Hope you guys liked it. I really did. It's the exact same way that I did it in the last two videos, or the same look that I was wearing in the last two videos and in the Instagram picture that I showed you earlier, but this is the way that it turned out, and I feel like it works for daytime and even nighttime. It's not like too glittery, you know what I mean? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section what other looks you would like to see, or what other colors you would like for me to use for my next tutorial, and I will see you all in those videos. Bye!